Hello Huskies! Today we're going to determine the sign when working with integers. We finally get to move on and work without the model, without the red and yellow chips. Our learning target for today will be I can subtract integers using the integer rules. Let's go ahead and recap what we learned so far. When we have two positive numbers, we use yellow, and we combine them together, we add, and we're going to have a positive answer. When both of our integers are negative, we're going to use red, and we're going to combine them, and our answer will be negative. But when we have a positive and a negative number, which in this case we call them integers, it depends what our answer is going to be. If you look at these two, sometimes it will be yellow, positive, and sometimes it's going to be negative, red. It depends on the amount of chips. In this one, we have more yellow chips, so therefore, after you make your zero pairs, you're going to have a positive answer. On the fourth one here, we have more negative chips. So when you subtract, you're going to have more of the negative left over, so your answer is going to be negative. And the second thing that we have to remember is how to use the giant plus. Remember, when we have a double negative, we're going to use our giant plus. So today we're going to put it all together. So let's begin as we always do by circling our terms. We're going to get a red circle and circle -5 and go ahead and stretch it. That's -5. We look at our next integer and we're going to get another red circle. And we're going to stretch it so we can circle our integers with the appropriate color. So these two are negatives, so they are in red. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to place these integers into this table here. So I am going to put here -7 because I'm going to answer this question: which term has the most chips? If I were to actually draw them or drag them, I will have -7 to be the one with the most chips. Our next integer is -5. I place it right underneath. There's your -5. So -7 is the one with the most chips. So I'm going to take the star and place it next to the -7 to remind me that my answer will be a negative answer. So I see that both of these are negative numbers. Okay. And when they're both negative numbers, I look over here at the rules and I see that a negative and another negative together is going to give me a negative answer. So that means that I'm going to add those two integers. So I'm going to go ahead and get my directions here. I'll put my add. So I'm going to go ahead and add -7 plus 5. So that's going to be -12. -12. In this particular problem, I did not have a giant plus, so I didn't use that. But what I want to do next is I'm going to put a check on the rule that I used. And I used that when I add two negative numbers together, I'm going to get a negative answer. So I have -12 here. I'm going to go back over here and place -12. And now we're going to continue with number 2. We always look at our signs, our terms. So we have -12 and +9. We do not have a double negative, so we are just going to get our circle. And this is our negative number, so we have a red circle. And we have a +9, so we're going to get a yellow circle. I'm going to stretch that out. Always make sure you include your sign to the left. The next thing after that, we're going to put our terms into this table. So we have +9 and we also have -12. So our next part is to answer this question: which term has the most chips? And if we were to draw them or even drag them, we see that -12 has the most. So we're going to get a star and place it next to -12. We're going to look at our rules. What happens when we have red and yellow? Okay, both of them say that we're going to find the difference. We're going to subtract. So we're going to go ahead and get our subtract sign and make sure that we place it so we remember to subtract. Now, since negative 12 has the most chips, our answer is going to be negative. Let's look back to our rules. We have a small yellow, small positive number, and a large negative number. So yes, our answer is going to be negative. So let's subtract 12, take away from 9, and we have here negative 3. This is the rule that we used, and we're going to put a check right next to it so we know which one we used. And now we can finally put our answer in the box, negative 3. So there you go. So now we're on problem number 3. Again, we always look at our integers, positive 15. Oh, look at here, we have a double negative. So we're going to go ahead and finally use our giant plus. We're going to drag that and put it in front of those two double negatives. So now that problem has changed. It is no longer a negative 5, it is a positive 5. So we're going to go ahead and get that positive 15 and circle it in yellow. And we're going to go ahead and grab another yellow to circle positive 5. Okay. Now that we have our integers identified as being positive and in yellow, we're going to put them in the table where they belong. We have positive 15 and we have positive 5. So we always want to answer this question, which term has the most chips? So if we were to drag them or draw them, we know that positive 15, we will have more chips. Okay, so now that we answered that question, we're going to go to our rules to see where do we have two yellow integers. So we come over here, and here we have two yellow integers. We're going to add them together, and our answer is going to be positive. So we are going to go ahead and drag our reminder to add them together. So we'll do that. 15 plus 5 is 20. Okay. And since we added two positive integers to have a positive answer, I'm going to go ahead and use my check for the first rule right there. And now that we have positive 20, we're going to come over here and place our answer, positive 20. So there you go, Huskies. You use your giant plus, and we're using the rules and everything. We're putting it together. Congratulations, Huskies. You did it. You learned how to add and subtract integers without chips. Now you have the rules to help you.